Hi everybody, Laura here. I'm just doing a quick tutorial of this tea light card that I did on the Hobby House shows on Create and Craft. I had some messages asking for a tutorial, so I've done a quick little video here to show you how to make it. So first of all, we're going to start with an A4 sheet of card, and we're going to put this on our scoring board. And then to start with, we are going to score at 1/2 inch. Then we're going to score at 1 1/4 inch. Then we're going to move up to 2 3/4 inch. Score along that line. Move over then to 3 1/2. And then finally we're going to score at 8 3/8 to make our card shape. Okay, once you've done that, just flip the card over on the side, and then only to our last score line, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, and then we're going to score at 1 3/8. So just count over 3 notches and then score down that line. Okay, so you can see what we're going to do now is just turn the card over and do the same thing on the other side, only down to the score line. So you've got those 2 score lines on both sides of the card. And then you can see we've got all of our score lines ready to cut out. Okay, so I'm just going to move this scoreboard out of the way, and then we're going to cut these lines. So grab a pair of scissors, and actually we'll score the card first to make sure we get good score lines in. All I'm doing is just folding the card over on the score line, and using my scoring tool, I'm just burnishing those score lines. Okay, so that's all we're doing is just folding them. Right, now grab your scissors, and then you can see what we're going to do is this last little panel here, we're going to cut in on the side and then cut down on a little bit of an angle all the way down. So you're cutting that little bit straight off, and the next bit cut down, and then again cut in at an angle, and then cut that little tab at the top off, leaving the one on the bottom. Again cutting in, and then on the edge of these 2 ones just cut in to make a little notch, and then on this last one again cut in on the side to make it at an angle, just do that little notch, and then on the end cut down, and again cut in at an angle, and then cut the last little tab off. Okay, so that is going to give us the tab at the box to hold the candles in. So just fold them to give you your score lines, but you can see that's going to be our lid. So this is what's going to hold the candles in place. So you're just going to do the same thing again on the bottom, cutting in and cutting at that angle. Just makes it a bit easier to get the flaps into the card, so you're not forcing the card in. So it's good to put those little edges in. Okay, now that is done, we have our card shape. What we're going to do now is, I prefer to use a guillotine. Whatever you want to do, use a paper trimmer, but all I'm doing is turning those edges in that we've just scored, lining that up to my paper trimmer, fold it over, and then cutting. So I'm cutting those edges off to give you your card shape the same size as the box is going to be. So again, just fold those tabs in, line up to your paper trimmer or your paper cutter, or you could score that line and use a pair of scissors, and then just cut along. So you can see our card now is the same shape, size as what the box is going to be. So all we do now is just fold the last score line over, which gives us the card element, and you can see our card is ready to stick together. So I'm grabbing my pin flare glue, my wet glue. You could use red liner tape, but I prefer to use wet glue. It gives you a little bit of movement, but the pin flare glue grabs very quickly, so you don't have to worry about it moving. So just hold the card down so you have a guide of where the box will be glued, and then just stick your fingers in and push the tab down, or if you want to, what you can do is grab your scoring tool and put that in just to make sure that those tabs are stuck down on the inside of the box. But you can see that's it. Our card is done. All you have to do now is just turn those tabs in on both sides and your box is ready to go. It'll fit 3 tea light candles in, or you could put sweets, flowers, gifts in there. So what we're going to do now is decorate our card. I'm using the Magnolia collection that I used on the show from Hobby House. You can see it's got a beautiful pearlescent card in the kit, which gives it a really nice shine. And you've also got beautiful backing papers, floral elements and butterflies on. Absolutely stunning artwork on this bit backing papers that you get and the toppers. So all I'm doing now is just matting and layering those cards together, and I'm going to stick that on the front panel of my card. So just using my pin flare glue again. And now I've got 2 little topper elements that come from the panel sheet on the Hobby House kit. So I've got 2 floral elements and I've matted and layered them again onto the pink pearlescent card. And now I'm just sticking this one down with foam pads. You can see this other one I have here. And just sticking this onto the pearlescent card, and then I'm going to stick this one slightly covering the other one, again using 3D foam pads, just to give it a little bit of a lift. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is we're going to cover the actual box element. I've got a little strip from one of the backing papers in the kit that comes in the kit. It already looks like little border strips. So I've cut one of them down and I've matted it again onto that pink pearlescent card. And then we're just going to glue that onto the box element. I've also added a bit of white satin ribbon using my red liner tape to stick that down. So just gluing this down onto the pearlescent card and then sticking it down onto the top of the box panel. I've got a little bow here that I've done with the same ribbon, so I'm just going to glue that down with some 3D glue gel. And then I've got one of the lovely little circle sentiments, and I'm just going to stick that in the middle of the bow. But that's it. You can see there's our card done, ready to go. So just showing you, this is the one I made that I had ready to go, and this is the one that I did on air, so you can see the difference.